Welcome to Joshua 2415 Outdoors, proudly in partnership with Christian Bowhunters of America.
Person take the other end with about 30 foot of slack line and go out onto the rock jetty all the way to the point. And at the center of that trot line, have a window weight to pull it down and just submerge that trot line without a boat.
Oh, I'm game. Sounds like a plan.
I in my mind, I've never done this before, but in my mind, we spend the night fishing, and the next morning, the person that is, and if it's got multiple fish on it, it's going to be, a chore to get in. That's why it's going to take two grown men to do this.
Yeah.
Whoever's on that sandbar end, pull their end and be backing away down the sandbar as the person, because we need to keep it tight, as the person on the rocks pulls up and heads toward the sandbar, and we just beach the trot line.
Full way to plan.
I think it'll work. I've seen it in my head for years, but I've never tried it.
I've never done anything like that. That'd be a new experience.
Well, we're down to try that, and we're gonna.
Can't wait to go fishing.
In Illinois, limb lines are illegal, but bank poles are not. So last year, I had the idea to build some bank poles, and it just never really got to the point to where I was able to use them. So hopefully this year we can do that. And I've had some other ideas of putting some lines out on the sandbar with it's gonna sound crazy, but take multiple balloons, 2 or 3 balloons, tie them on for a float with a brick under them, and let the current naturally take the trot line out just on a sandbar where there's no riprap, no log jams or anything, that at least that you could see to hang us up. And once that gets out there 30, 40, 50 feet, just take a BB gun and pop the balloons and let it sink.
Oh, that sounds like fun.
And you should be able to next morning just drag it in.
It sounds like fun just to pop the balloons with a BB gun.
We'll let you pop them. Let's get into it, Dan.
I can't wait for you to come to that little pond, lake, whatever you want to call it.
It's beautiful.
It is. It's nice. I'm going to put out a video on that. Just a short, nothing major. I didn't get a lot of good footage. I only found one fish, but it was good enough for a short.
Well, I took the camera today when me and my wife took my grandson fishing, and I was going to record, but the wind was blowing so hard.
Yeah.
I knew the audio would be so bad. I just left the camera in the truck. But we absolutely wore the fish out today, bass and bluegill.
I can't wait to
just on your own delights. So
can't wait to get out there.
It's and I'll take you.
Get my Illinois license.
So you get your Illinois, I'll get my Kentucky, and we'll get after you.
You got that right. Anyways, all right. Here we are. Welcome back to Joshua 2415 Outdoors. Just a normal conversation.
Yeah, there's a thing in this time. Fish not knowing that it was on.
But better that way.
Yeah.
Keep it all organic.
Keep it real. I want it to be real. If it's not real, there's no reason to do it. It should be real.
Anyways, today we're going to just kind of share how this past deer season went, what we saw, what we didn't see, just kind of a little bit of what we're looking forward to this coming season as well. I know I talked about before with my particular season over here in Kentucky, hunting public ground. It hasn't been, it wasn't a success in terms of harvesting an animal, but in my mind, it was definitely a success in terms of what I've learned this year, and especially to take into this coming season, the 2024 season. I feel like I've learned quite a bit. There's some mistakes that I made, forgetting my release from my bow being one of them, and not feeling comfortable. Of course, I had a buck come in. The day that I forgot my release, come in within shooting range, it's almost like they know. Now, it wasn't a monster by any chance, but to me, it was a trophy because it would have been my first buck for one.
Yeah.
It would have been my first kill with a bow.
Right.
But some dummy forgot his release sitting in the Jeep. So there's that.
Well, there's always going to be something. If I'm
Always. The time I went scouting too, before, not before season, but before I actually got my license to be able to go, and just went in and scout, and sure enough, saw 2 does.
Yeah. Yeah, I have for years carried a spare release in my pack because of that thing.
That's the lesson that I learned. Now I keep 2.
Yeah.
Hopefully one on me, but one in my pack if I forget the other.
Well, I put my release, if I'm, headed to the truck or headed to the stand, my release it's on my bow. I don't keep it separate from my bow. I don't keep it separate in the case. I snap and buckle it around the handle so that it's there. But mine is, in case I was to somehow drop my release from the stand, I have an extra release in my pack.
Which makes sense as well.
I've learned a lot over 40-something years of what to have in your pack and what to not have in your pack.
I'm on this journey. I'm still learning. I'm definitely rusty. I'm not hunting in probably 13 or 14 years.
I found something this year that was very helpful because I dropped my rattling antlers and I was in a climber. It was bitter cold. I did not want to have to climb down, and it was during gun season. And I was trying to figure out how I was going to get my rattling antlers, and I had these twisty things that we've got over here from Cat Eyes. It's a flexible binding rope for just tying stuff together, and I had been using those for holding my stand together and keeping my pack and everything on it. And I literally folded those into a grappling hook and tied it onto my bow rope and used it to get my rattling antlers up. So what I usually do this year, I am going to take, I don't know if it's going to be a snagging hook.
You're going to have everything just tied to you, so.
Well, I could, but I'm going to have some kind of hook in the tree. I know they make things that are grabbers that when you drop them down, the jaws close to grab stuff that you drop. But I'm going to have something, whether it's a fold-up grappling hook or something, in my pack to where if I drop something, I can easily get it without going back down.
Makes sense. Just attach some metal to it and you get a magnet. Strong enough magnet.
What I use that morning worked great for getting up under an antler and lifting the thing up. But, it wouldn't work.
Bad idea.
If you dropped a jacket or something, it wouldn't work for that. So I want to have something to where I can get pretty well anything I drop.
Not a bad idea at all. So why don't you break down your season for us? Tell us how your season went.
Well, I had a pretty good season. I knew that I was on kind of a rush time frame in my season because I knew I was going to have my shoulder replaced on November the 20th, which was the day after our gun season. But that still gave me all of October and 20 days into November to hunt. And I was fortunate enough on the 3rd day of season to go back to a stand that I had killed one of my bucks the previous year. That was a really good deer. And I just had a good feeling that evening that I needed to be in that stand. And the exact same thing happened as had happened the prior year. Right before dark, a really good buck come in. I had already passed up an ear wide 8-pointer and a spike that spike stayed under me for over a half an hour. And then a really good buck. He was a basic 9 and he had 2 stickers. That's some redneck. I count him as 11. Anything that's over an inch long, I'm going to count. But he stopped at 25 yards. I hit him a little bit forward and a little bit high, and it just dropped him in his tracks. And I got down and put a finishing arrow in him. He was a really good deer, really big body deer, dressed out well over 200 pounds. And that was the first day, I think, of my vacation that week. And I passed up a lot of other deer throughout my vacation. I was really, really struggling getting on does. I mean, I was seeing a lot of deer, but I was really struggling with having deer in comfortable range of me wanting to shoot them. A deer for me to want to shoot anymore, it's going to have to be 30 yards at the max. I really don't like shooting past 30 yards. I don't like shooting past 20 yards, but I just never had any real good opportunities early on to shoot at any does. And then the one doe that I did hit, I have no idea what happened, but I hit her low, and I never did find that deer. And then transitioning to the rut, I saw a lot of activity, just bucks running does everywhere. I don't even know how many opportunities I had to take other bucks, but none of them were what I was really looking for. And then once we got into gun season, that weekend before surgery, I saw several deer on the first day and on the second day, and on the third morning, I knew that was the last day I had to hunt basically for the year, I thought. And a bunch of does came through, and I thought about shooting some of them and just burning my tags on the does. And sure enough, I just decided I was going to see if something tracked them through, and a nice 8-pointer tracked them through a little while later, about an hour later, had his nose on the ground. And I had a new shotgun, and I was wanting to try it out, and I decided to just take the shot and see what it'd do. And I shoot those Hornady 12-gauge slugs, 2 3/4 inch. It's a devastating load. And that deer made it maybe 15 yards and piled up. And I got to go get my son and my grandson. They helped me get it out. And my grandson wanted his face painted with blood. And, lots of cool things happened that morning. And so he had stripes like an Indian on his face. And we got that deer out. I had surgery the next morning, and I really thought, that was going to end my season. And the next weekend was Thanksgiving. So the following weekend after that was our muzzleload season. And I was already back to work after having my shoulder replaced. And I got the crazy idea I had to try to go kill a deer with a muzzleloader with one arm.
And me.
No?
And me.
Yeah.
On one of those occasions.
Yes.
I learned a valuable lesson, actually, from that hunt, sitting in a tree stand with you, to be very, very aware of your daggone farts. My gosh. It was terrible.
I had saved that specifically for you once we got in the tree.
A valuable lesson, separate tree stands, or I'll just be on the ground.
I think that's why I was home alone, so that I ain't got to hear whining because of it.
I think that's why. I think you just,
That was 4 weeks after surgery, but 2 weeks after surgery, I went by myself, and I actually did go ahead and take a deer with one arm with the muzzleloader. When me and you went, we had the opportunity to shoot a deer, and shoot multiple deer, but I didn't have my rest with me to prop the gun up, and I could not support the gun with my left arm good enough to feel comfortable shooting it that far. Now, when I shot the deer 2 weeks after surgery, I had my tripod with me, and, the gun was just resting on top of that, and that deer was 90 yards. I pulled the trigger, and it crumbled in its tracks. But that deer that we saw when I was with you, without having something to support the rifle, I just didn't feel comfortable shooting that far with the muzzleloader, and I didn't take a shot.
Well, hopefully this season, by the time we get to bow season, your shoulder will be good enough to bow hunt, and hopefully we can get more hunting in together and cover more ground that way. And
well, I'm already pulling my bow, pulling recurve out of my compound, so I'm going to be very shortly shooting heavy and getting my shoulder back into the shape it needs to be in with the strength to be able to shoot accurately. It was a very successful surgery. I wished I'd have done it a long time ago. But I'm already itching for season. The whole time I know I've already caught several fish, but the whole time I'm fishing, my mind's thinking about the woods and thinking about setting stands and thinking about fall. And that's just one of the things that I can't get my mind off of. I'm just eating completely up with it. And I really think that I will probably this year, I'm really thinking about going strictly with traditional equipment this year.
Just recurve?
Just hunt with my recurve. We'll see. We'll see how the shoulder goes and how it plays out through the year. But that's what I'm going to be mainly practicing with to rebuild my shoulder and see just how that transitions into what I want to do. So, I mean, I've got everything I need. I got compound, got crossbows, got recurve, longbows. Any way I want to hunt them, I can legally hunt them. So we'll just see where it goes.
This weekend, I meant to ask you, what are you free this weekend? Either Friday or Saturday?
I don't know at this point.
The Illinois Deer Classic is this weekend.
I'll have to get back with you. I'm not sure.
Wanted to see if that's something we could do this weekend and go live.
Possibly.
Okay. Anyways,
Possibly.
it'd be
You just dropped that on it.
yeah. I just before I forget. Anyways, yeah. Season was for me was, like I said, not really a failure. Learned a lot. Did see deer. Did saw plenty of deer on a few occasions. Never got the opportunity to shoot.
Well, let me ask you one question. Did you have a good time?
Oh, always. And that's the point.
Then it was a successful. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I don't consider it a failure at all. Although there is temptation to look back at that and see it as a failure because I didn't harvest anything. You could be down on yourself for it or whatever.
You know, you could look past. Yes, you could look past it and you could rebuild from that.
Yep.
You can rebuild from that.
It's it reminds me of Isaiah 43:18 through 19 in the King James Version here. It says, "Remember ye not the former things, neither consider the things of old. Behold, I will do a new thing. Now it shall spring forth. Shall ye not know it? I will even make a way in the wilderness and rivers in the desert."
Thing you can't go by what's in the past. You can learn from the past, but the past does not define who you are.
It did not define who you are.
And it's not going to define what your deer season is going to be next year. And the smallest thing that we've got to make better is our deer season. You know, we want our lives to increase and be better. And that's not monetarily. We want our lives to be more like the reflection of Jesus Christ each and every day forward. So what we have done in the past, you know, if we've asked for forgiveness from it, then God has already forgiven it, and it's gone. It doesn't count. We are the only ones that hold that against ourselves. When we can wrap our mind around the fact that God has already forgiven us of that, and it no longer is being held against us, then we should ourselves be able to move on and build on that and to build a new life centered around Jesus Christ.
Learn from what you would consider failures. Learn from it and move forward. Only you define who you are. Only you can define what you let define you. You don't want to let your past define who you are.
That's good. I thought you were going to say only you can prevent forest fires.
Oh man, that would have been.
Well, it just sounded like that was coming. We filmed it there.
Only you can prevent forest fires.
You know, that's true. Only you can prevent the forest fires in your life.
Only you can do that.
What is more than if you've ever seen the destruction of a forest fire? Let's just go ahead and go with that, because I thought that's what you were going to say. But you know, if you've seen a forest fire and the destruction that it does, and how it even jumps roads, how it jumps rivers, how it jumps all of this stuff for just utter destruction. If you let a forest fire start in your life and you don't let God quench that fire out and put that fire out, that can absolutely burn up everything that's in your life, and it can destroy you.
It will grow and devastate everything.
And Smokey the Bear ain't gonna be there to help.
Smokey the Bear won't be there to help you. You only got Jesus.
That's it.
That is it. That's your only hope in that scenario. In any scenario, really.
Yeah.
You got to look forward to Jesus. You got to lean on him and let him help you through those times. Let Jesus be the one that defines you.
You know, when we
were Christ.
We were standing there catching them fish today, and or my grandson was, and my wife. I was mainly just untangling his lines and trying to help him get fish on the stringer. And
I did that.
Yeah, it's you take a little kid, you're pretty much not fishing yourself, but that's okay. I've got to fish a whole lot in my life, and to watch him get to catch all them fish today was amazing. And to be able to be where we were in the beauty of the water and the beauty of the landscape and this man's farm, it is just the way it's laid out. It is so pretty. And to see him standing there grinning from ear to ear while he's reeling in, it don't matter how big the fish was, you know. I mean, he thought he was fighting sea monsters, pulling those bluegill and stuff in. But to see all of this and just be so thankful to be there for that opportunity, for that moment in time, because, you know, there was a time in my life that I could have made decisions that would have kept any of this from ever happening. But God kept me on the straight path. And I'm not saying I haven't veered from his path, but God kept me on his path enough that now I get to see all of these wonderful things with grandchildren and with people, with just all of these things in my life. It's just amazing.
That's that just brings me back to what, I mean, we've said this many times already in our podcast, talked about, you know, monetary value and placing value on money and all that. It's not to say that that's bad necessarily, but the real treasure is right there. And what we're talking about with the memories you're making.
Yeah. With
family, friends, those memories are precious.
Yeah.
Especially because the life is so fleeting. And you just never know.
You never know. We have, just with the family we have of associates where we work, the number of people that have passed away or had family members that have passed away in just the last few months is just incredible. And people of all ages from early 20s into the 70s, and it just blows my mind. People that weren't sick a day in their life just fall over, and accidents happen, and it just is incredible to me. And that's why it's so important when I talk to people. And I drive that point anytime that I tell a message. You know, at the end of that message, you can make a decision today, and you can decide you're going to make a decision later, but you may not get that opportunity to make a decision later. You know, the time is now. The time is when you hear it, when God lays it on you to make a decision. That's the time right then, because you don't know that you have got not only tomorrow, you don't know that you've got the next minute.
Exactly. And it's so, the sad part about it is it's so easy to take that for granted. It's so easy to get caught up in life, to get caught up in whatever it may be, and forget the value you should place on your moments that you have in life, the moments that you have to spend and share it with someone else, or the memories you're going to make with somebody, how you're going to treat people. It's so easy not to do that, but really we should focus on trying to be better in that area, because you don't know how long you have.
You know, my son said something the other day when he was listening to this podcast with me, and he said he was thankful that we were doing the podcast. And, you know, I wanted specifics. I thought, well, is it because of the find value in the podcast, or is it because of I wanted to know why he was so happy we're doing the podcast. And he said, because your voice is now forever on this platform, to where we can hear it when you're gone, and grandkids can hear it when you're gone, and great grandkids.
Yeah.
And when we started this, that never crossed my mind.
No, I would have never thought of it that way, but that's a very powerful way to look at it.
That is a very powerful way to look at it.
It's all about leaving a legacy.
Yeah. Yeah, and one of our podcasts was on legacies.
Yes, it was. It was a bonus episode.
Yeah. I'm really tickled that we've had this opportunity, and especially to say that our lives don't define us in the past. It's what we do now. It's what we do moving forward.
Yep. And with that, I think that is all we got for this one. We thank you as usual for joining us and listening to us banter back and forth and just talk about life and faith and all that that's so precious and important to us. We're happy to share that with you, and we're glad that you're on this journey with us. We're gonna keep them coming.
Yeah,
we've got more content coming. We've got we're gonna try to get some more out on the YouTube channel. We're fishing a lot more. We're getting into that as season comes in, especially when spawn gets here.
Yeah,
when the bass are gonna be tearing up my bait, we're gonna get some content on that. Yeah, exactly. When April rolls around, turkey season, I want to get out there and get me some turkeys.
I'm gonna buy my turkey.
You can buy a turkey at the store. I want the pursuit. I want to be out there. I want to be in the woods. I want the pursuit.
There is nothing harder than the pursuit of going to get a turkey at Walmart with all them nutcases.
Well, especially if you're doing in the midst of Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
But anyways, thanks again. We appreciate y'all. We hope that you will, again, I will share our email in the description. We hope you will send us any suggestions, any episodes that you want to hear, any stories you have to tell. If you want us to share that, we'll do that. So shoot us an email. Also consider checking out Christian Bowhunters of America. And that link will be there as well. Check them out, see what you think about it. If you feel led to join them, then by all means, we hope you would. So with that, thanks again, and God bless you all.
Yeah, God bless.